This is the A92 continuation. The A92 continuation from Lochside Academy alongside the A92 back into Kincorth. I mean, this road used to be the A90, the Stonehaven to Aberdeen road. And look, here's someone coming into the petrol station. This is real life drama. Actually, it's a quiet path, a safe path, but a noisy road. Safe in a sense. Nigway, oh here's Nigway. I was on Nigway. I started from Nigway when I went up Provost Watt Drive. I started on Nigway, went along the path which goes to near Wellington Road and near Redmoss Road Police Station, and then I went along past Lochside Academy. This is why I've ended up round here. I mean, it all sweeps round. And there's a path alongside the A92 from a noisy road, actually, really noisy. There is a path that goes from Lochside Academy. You can get to the Bridge of Dee, the old historic bridge, where lorries used to trundle over on the main road from the A90, which it was called, from Stonehaven to Aberdeen. A90 now the Aberdeen bypass. The Aberdeen bypass, the longest construction project for a UK road in modern British history. So says the Scottish Government. You need to tell people. Video is truer to life. Seeing is believing also. Seeing is believing. What happened in the past? What really happened indeed? I mean, if you can see something with your own eyes, that's seeing is believing. Believing something happened against the backdrop of deep fake technology and a fake Queen on Channel 4 at Christmas time 2021. I mean, this is all significant. I mean, still, there is deep fake technology, but harder to fake the natural world with commentary and motion on a bike, a narrative, engaging narrative. It's more authentic, believable. You've got to make people believe what you're doing. And also there's an issue with witnesses. If people see you going about, they'll know you were there, in a sense. But the internet, in a sense, Facebook is anonymous, in a sense, even though people have friends. Facebook pages are still anonymous. You can't track who's looking. You can't even track who's looking with Google Analytics. And yet there was the big issue over cookies. Cookies on websites for tracking behaviour. You can't track behaviour with Google Analytics, but now we're all forced to click accept or reject cookies, and that makes the web harder to use for marginalised groups, people with hand tremors, older people. I mean, this is a barrier to digital inclusion. This really fosters reliance on paperwork. Paperwork, in a sense. This is all significant. Scotland is also a land of green pastures, lots of green fields with cows. People like McDonald's, but actually eating burgers can actually cut down on epileptic seizures, because for people with epilepsy, this is where the ketogenic diet comes in. A ketogenic diet, some doctors swear by it to treat epilepsy, but actually most drivers, when they go slower, they give way. I mean, drivers have to be alert, and they have a driving license. They've got to pass a test, but they only do it once. A driving test with vigorous standards. Drivers often develop bad habits. You can over time. You can lapse into bad habits. You can see some people really do ignore speed cameras, but actually there's a sign for speed cameras. Signs go up, but actually speed cameras are few and far between. I mean, there aren't actually any on Anderson Drive. There's a sign for speed cameras. I mean, you've got to tell people. Tell people, unless you see the police, they won't get caught doing 50 miles an hour. I mean, that's incentive for more investment in police. I mean, how is the Scottish Government going to enforce 20 miles per hour across towns and cities in Scotland by 2025? How is it going to be enforced? How do you keep people to the speed limits? I mean, I guess there's an issue for doing what is morally right, doing what is ethically right, considering ethics. I mean, morals and ethics are really quite important, and it's the foundation in Scottish schools of religious and moral education. Religious and moral education. I mean, you need to do what is morally right. Is it morally right to put graffiti on the walls in Garthdee by Anderson Drive, South Anderson Drive? Graffiti, that could be classed as art. Newark, I mean, you'll find Newark on Frederick Street, and that's by the Beach Boulevard. Actually, sometimes you need to get off bikes to mount curbs. Look through the trees here. Through the trees. It's actually safer if you use paths, pavements, residential streets, and respect others. Because actually pavements are quite quiet, and if you look away from people, they're not featured in video always. I mean, but then you're not looking where you're cycling. I mean, they're all issues. Capturing what happens on the move, provide motion and engaging narrative is actually tricky, harder than you might realise, but actually it's easier with novel technology. And technology is advancing all the time. Look at this. This is the Broomhill roundabout. No, it's not. That's near Kintore. But this roundabout is actually near Broomhill School. Broomhill Primary School. Traffic build up here. That's not Broomhill roundabout, by the way. It's near Broomhill Primary School, but it's not Broomhill roundabout. No, that's the one that leads to Kintore. The cross section. It's on the A96. Goes to Kintore, and from Kintore you can go to Lay Lodge and the line of Skene. I mean, how well do you really know Aberdeen, the northeast of Scotland? You get to know it better when you embrace active travel. Unique local knowledge is only valuable when you upload and share. Upload and share, tell others, because no one's immortal. These are key life lessons. Although, well, no one is immortal, you're likely to live longer if you take regular exercise. You need to keep moving also, not just as exercise good for you, but you can get mugged if you stand still. I just visited Kincorth. And I saw no sign of trouble in Kincorth. Homes with satellite TV. I mean, that's homes with satellite TV. That's £1,000 a year roughly for sport and movies, the full package. It's not cheap. The perks and quality of life, if you like TV. But I mean, lots of young people like online videos. What do they want? Make believe or real life? Real life is more interesting. It can also spark improvements, changes in behaviour, respect, greater respect, get greater respect for fellow humanity, encourage healthier ways of living, encourage people to go outside, embrace the natural world, walk and cycle, ride horses, push prams, allow babies to really see what's happening. And what's happening here is traffic jams where Great Western Road and Anderson Drive meet. This is real life alongside the A92, which is also South and North Anderson Drive at Great Western Road. It's safe to cross this road. Keeping moving always wise. You need to have wits about you. Look around. Trouble can come from behind. Advances in technology, novel technology, Touch ID on the iPhone can enable you to keep your precious photos and videos safe. Upload to cloud storage with mobile data with biometric authentication via fingerprint. I mean, these are all important considerations worth bearing in mind. But also, if you keep moving on a bike, you're less likely to need biometric authentication. And if others are nice, everyone respects each other. You don't need advanced security technologies. Not everyday mass market to the average consumer. This is actually the benefit of cloud technology. Cloud in the cloud. Think servers distributed in Iceland across the world. Also satellites in space. Still there's a need for post. Royal Mail. Traditional mail in Aberdeen. People that walk the streets. I mean, if you can't, it's difficult to use a bike and deliver mail, because even though there's mail bikes going around to deliver newspapers, delivering mail on a bike to homes means stopping and starting sometimes. When people keep sending letters, I mean, this is hassles of the postal service. This is what email does away with. Electronic mail. Emails people may read, may not get, may not respond to. You don't know if people have read an email if they don't respond. This is the digital way of life. Digital way of life versus the postal service. Postal mail might be more reliable in a sense, but Digital mail is data communications and data packets. Segmented messages. Every email is split up into small data packets, segmented, sent and received, with payload data, addresses, source address and destination address. All messages are split up into data packets. Networks are segmented, the internet, multiple routers and switches. This is technology education on the front line in Aberdeen by Cromwell Road, Seafield Road, Anderson Drive. Cromwell Road leads to Union Grove. How well do you know Aberdeen? Do you know it like the back of your head? Local knowledge? Local knowledge becomes really valuable when you tell others. Share via video. Be able to produce narratives and documentaries on the move by bike. Engaging narratives while moving. When you're dependent on technology, totally dependent, need to look up information and check facts. Actually, the information world may not that be reliable. Video is more reliable, and real events documented in the media that have happened. In modern history, they're all based on photos and video. TV has been around since John Logie Baird in 1928. Colour TV. Colour videos of a young Queen Elizabeth II recently released via the BBC. I mean, this is all significant. I mean, there's the internet, the World Wide Web, lots of information, text. But really, TV been around since 1928. History, modern British history, based on TV, real world events. Going uphill here, car horn sounding, North Anderson Drive, by Queen's Road. Uphill, through the trees, by the flats, where a party was held in a kitchen at the top floor, and the floor gave way. History in Aberdeen. Keep on learning. Run fast. Get away from trouble. This is Queen's Road, from Kincorth to Queen's Road, and video can show you, it's got time, show you how long you've taken. The flats where the kitchen floor gave way, top floor flat. I mean, this is all significant. This is how health and exercise links to well-being and the great outdoors. You've got to consider everything in context. This is still the A92, and here's the historic bridge, the Bridge of Dee, often a bottleneck roundabout in years gone by. It was the bottleneck, the bit that caused major congestion around Asda, Sainsbury's, B&Q, Boots, Currys. It was a bottleneck leading to the construction and the opening in 2018 of the Aberdeen Bypass, the longest construction project for a UK road in modern British history. This is the Bridge of Dee at Aberdeen, and this is Kincorth. And there's actually architectural buildings here worth showing off. AAA, not the AA breakdown company, but I mean this roundabout was a bottleneck. AAA, AA and AA, oh here's AA, the driving school. How do you get across this roundabout? Take your chance. Oh, I got across it. AAA. Then I saw AA the driving school. That was a coincidence. A sheer coincidence. It doesn't always happen like that. This is the Bridge of Dee. The Bridge of Dee, the historic Bridge of Dee, coming from Kincorth, the A92, Aberdeen to Stonehaven Road. The road that's supposed to be quiet because there was the Aberdeen bypass built to bypass Portlethen. This was why it was built with the intention of bypassing Portlethen, to make people that live in Portlethen have a better quality of life. I guess you need to stick to the pavement. It's a busy bridge, even with the bypass. Take care. Well, here we have branches in the River Dee, but fallen branches. This is the natural world. Natural to Garth Dee. The Bridge of Dee, where Kincorth and Garth Dee meet. Where the A92 Aberdeen to Stonehaven Road and Garth Dee meet. South Anderson Drive. This is where it starts, really. No, it starts up near Wellington Road. The continuation. You need to get to know Aberdeen, get your bearings. Sharing video with descriptions, narratives with motion, engaging video. That helps others when you share. Education, virtual education, digital education, online education. And teachers are not generally doing this. They're going around in cars, getting paid. Some people take a comfy life for granted. Sometimes you've got to keep moving to get across roads. Kincorth, I saw a sign, so it extends Provost Drive. This is Kincorth. Kincorth, there's construction works happening. And actually, Kincorth, through Kincorth, if you take the right route, you can get on to Redmoss Road and go down Wellington Road. If you go through, there are quiet paths, but actually this road is quite quiet. I saw what looked like a mail bike. This is Kincorth. Am I shooting video or not? I mean, this is the question. Novel video capture methods make it difficult to know if you're recording or not. People walk. The advantage of bikes is you can get away from people, stay safe, shoot video. When you upload later, shoot and share. Upload to Facebook. People don't know where you live. In a sense, real people can be hostile. But actually most people like being outside, walking. Sometimes it's a shared space. This was the extension to Provost Drive, diverted traffic. Oh no, this is Cairngorm Drive. When did it change? I seem to have missed it. I missed it. Provost Drive to Cairngorm Drive. No notification of the changes. Gardner Drive. This is Kincorth, the area known as Kincorth. There's buses. The number 17. The number 17 to Dice. Kincorth to Dice. Oh, that's newsworthy. Buses run the length of Aberdeen. And that one I just saw, going to Dice, is not electric. It's still on diesel. Here's another construction site. New council houses in Craighill. New council houses in Craighill. This is the benefit of signs. We are building 99 new council houses here, including houses and flats, as part of a project delivering 2,000 new council houses. Right across Aberdeen, 2,000 new council houses. They are high quality homes which will be economical, sustainable and energy efficient, and will be available to rent soon. Coming to rent. Council houses for rent. Gone are the days of Margaret Thatcher. She enabled people to buy their council houses. What happened then? The need for new builds. New council houses to be erected. I mean, the population of the planet is actually increasing. But Scotland is set to go down from 2028, as the Press and Journal announced. This year, earlier 2022. Let's put it in perspective. So Aberdeen needs migrants. It needs to be welcoming to foreigners. To live in council houses. They're going to take up the council houses, the foreigners. They're going to divide the community of Kincorth. So I guess you need police. Unless people are more welcoming. Get along. Be nice. Is it starting to sink in yet? Am I making sense? This is Kincorth. Kincorth. Oh, Aberdeen City Council hereby gives notice that parking restrictions will apply here. Offending vehicles will be towed away. Parking restrictions? Or parking restrictions coming to Kincorth? Kincorth where exactly? What does the sign say? It's faded. Heatherwick Road. I had to get closer to read it. Heatherwick Road. Heatherwick Road. That's where this construction site is taking place. Oh, here's a boulder sign. Heatherwick Road. I didn't notice that one. I was at the wrong angle. Heatherwick Road. By Heatherwick Road there's 2,000 council houses going up. No, not here, all across Aberdeen. But there's some going here. By Heatherwick Road. This is what Aberdeen City Council is actually doing. You've got to get out and about to see it. Provide feedback. People don't always pay for a paper, and you need mail bikes to get them around the city, when digital is more available, can reach more people. This is Seaton Park, 1st of July 2022. At least it's got rubbish bins, waste bins. Seaton Park. Seaton Park has a path network. It also has a car park for people to drive to Seaton Park. That's the path to the Shannery. Leads to St Macha Cathedral. Also to Cruikshank Botanic Garden. It's a cobbled path. That path. Cobbled path. It's not really great for bikes. Really, you're forced to come through the park. And under these tree canopies, well, it might be spooky at nights. I guess people don't come to Seaton Park at nights. They come more during the day. In spring and summer, when the plants are in bloom. Sit in the main part, where the plants are, the benches. Read a book, maybe. I mean, that's one of the advantages of books. Tablets, they've got issues with screen and sunlight. Might not be able to see clearly, to read. I mean, books in the printed word is still accessibility in a sense. And there's lots of books for children. Lots of books for children in charity shops. That's recycling, reuse and recycling. Recycling books for the next generation. Amazon started off shipping books, and ships go quite slowly. I mean, I guess e-books cut down on the need for shipping, but still there's a lot of books in circulation going around. A lot of old historical artefacts. And there is a job for people to interpret information contained in old historical artefacts. This is Seaton Park, where there's a path. That's actually St Macha Cathedral. The church spire. Spires, you can see them from a distance. And then there's champing. The ringing of bells, pulling on a rope. The traditionally called churchgoers. Anyway, this is Seaton Park. The path through Seaton Park, and that's the cobbled path that runs past it. Not great if you're on a bike, but I mean this path goes downhill, down to the main area with all the plants. 1st of July 2022. I mean, this is Seaton Park. Lots of trees. A nice part of Aberdeen. It's old Aberdeen, where the streets are cobbled. It's where Aberdeen started off. It also started off around the harbour and Torry. It was linked up with bridges. And there was the River Dee ferryboat disaster, late 19th century. People perished and died, drowned. The rope spliced. It used a rope. The bridge used it wasn't really a bridge, it was a boat. The River Dee ferry disaster, a rope spliced. It was a boat that was pulled by a rope. That's how transport people got around in Aberdeen late 19th century. The River Dee ferry disaster. I mean, bridges in Aberdeen are quite modern, actually. That's why the one across the River Dee by Duthie Park, it's called the King George VI Bridge. That was Queen Elizabeth II's father. Bridges in Aberdeen are quite modern, even though Aberdeen's been on the go since the 14th century. William Elphinston. He's a significant figure. Fought at the Battle of Waterloo, when Napoleon Bonaparte was defeated. This is part of Aberdeen's history. The University of Aberdeen is 500 years old. Old Aberdeen had cobbled streets, but it wasn't linked up with Torry. The River Dee ferryboat disaster, a pulley boat with ropes. The rope spliced, capsized, people died, late 19th century. So I mean, the city of Aberdeen, while old and historic, University of Aberdeen on the go for 500 years, it's also been built up in recent times. There's lots of new homes. I mean, that was work for surveyors and architects in times gone by in the last 100 to 200 years. Really. Aberdeen is actually, although it's historic, it's still a modern city. And go back 100 years, go back 70 years, cars were less common, on the go. So petrol results in drilling in the North Sea. 1988, Piper Alpha oil disaster. People perished. Improvements in safety were the result, but the reality is the future is electrification, electric vehicles, EV vehicles, alternating current to direct current. You need to understand the stuff of engineering, sustainability for the future. And this is coming from Seaton Park, where there's lots of trees. And this is important. If you can't afford an electric car, you're going to be on bikes. But actually, a lot of people are going to need help to get their head around how to charge electric cars, and there's fears. Also, because they take over an hour for a charge, hook 2 electric cars up to one charging point, and actually, one electric charging point, it takes, and then the charging power is reduced, so it'll take longer, but actually, so it's going to be over an hour, so you're going to need lots of rapid charges. There's not enough by far. Not in publicly accessible places. I mean, they are springing up next to homes, but you can't go and use an electric car charging point, at someone's home, because they're strangers. You need lots of publicly accessible points, and there's an issue because there aren't that many. These are problems. This is really going to be, these are storing up for the future. Major problems. People are going to have grief. I'm telling you now. 1st of July 2022. From Seaton Park. This is the historic Broadford Works. The Broadford Works, it's an old textile mill from the 19th century. But actually, this is the 1st of July 2022, and there's a proposal to turn it into an area of flats and shops. Shepherd Robson has the proposal. Yeah, this is the Broadford Works. Shepherd Robson has a proposal to turn it into flats and shops. It's by Hutchins Street, by George Street, near Berryden Road. By Hutchins Street, by George Street. It's between George Street and Berryden Road. The Broadford Works. It's crumbling, historic. It's a site steeped in history. I mean, just look in this window. A skeleton. A skeleton. That's also history. History of people. They all become skeletons. Eventually. But this is the Broadford Works. A site of a proposed development. Flats and shops. I mean, this could create, imagine, do away with some of this traffic. It could create a nice site for walking and cycling in the city centre around George Street. Just think about it. Fire up the city council. It's the 4th of July, 2022, American Independence Day. This is towards the Curtain of Skene, by the cycle path, the shared pedestrian cycle path. I mean, look, sun shining, cows in the field. And that's the old children's orphanage, Proctor's. People in the garden. Why are they looking round? How loud am I talking? They can't hear me from over there. means your sound does travel, but light travels faster than sound, and light is what fibre optic cables are made from. Light, high fidelity signals, protected with Kevlar, the stuff of bulletproof vests. I mean, you need to really protect light signals. Signals can get corrupted. So that's data getting lost, messages getting lost, corrupted. Message integrity, corruption and integrity.